afternoon. Good afternoon. This is LaQueen Battle, President and founder of Battle First Aid Responder Services, coming live from downtown Boston. As you see, I'm in front of beautiful Boston City Hall. Today is Sunday, May the 23rd, and it is a beautiful day, May the 23rd, 2021, here in downtown Boston, Massachusetts. Now, pretty much I'm going to go ahead and go over some updates to my nonprofit, Battle First Aid Responder Services, as well as to let you guys know what's going on currently with the CDC guidelines and a couple other issues that I have to deal with some house business about mindfulness and about mental health, as well as mental health and your physical health. So again, I'm going to introduce myself. My name is LaQueen Battle. I am founder of a nonprofit here in Boston, Massachusetts called Battle First Aid Responder Services, and I'm also a certified medical assistant. I'm certified through adult and pediatric first aid, as well as I'm currently involved in community health initiatives and first aid. I do first aid for public events here in the city of Boston. So I'm pretty much always handing out hand sanitizer, helping with basic wound repair, assisting people in events and protests here in the city of Boston. I'm always pretty much actively involved in what's going on here in the Boston area, as well as pretty much always having the initiative to help others out who need it most. So as you see, I'm in front of beautiful Boston City Hall, going through some house business that we have to take care of first, because today it is the month of May, and it is midway through the year of 2021. So far, the CDC guidelines has moved over into almost herd immunity, which herd immunity is a term in the medical community, which means approximately almost a large percentage of the population has been fully vaccinated. So that is something that I am going to go ahead and talk over quickly right during this discussion, herd immunity, as well as pretty much, like I said, get down to some house business and pretty much go over through what has been happening through the month of January, from the month of January up until now here in June, going into June of 2021. I don't know if I'll be able to get any interviews today, but like I said, I'm just pretty much going to go over some CDC guidelines, Department of Public Health guidelines, and here in the city of Boston. Now, what happens here in the city of Boston happens usually all around the world, in the state of Massachusetts as well as the state of New York. And I want to try to get quickly into it. Like I said, herd immunity as well as COVID-19 vaccinations. Pretty much, like I said, the mass majority of the population has been fully vaccinated, as well as going up into a little bit more about guidelines for the CDC. Now, we're right now here in the state of Massachusetts. As you can follow me on my social media feeds, follow me on Facebook, Instagram, my Twitter handles, as well as here on YouTube. You know that right now here in the state of Massachusetts, under the mandates of Governor Charlie Baker, we are in stage 3, which stage 3 means most of the population has reached herd immunity, as well as most of the businesses are now ready to open up to a majority of the population of their business occupancy. Now, a lot of the businesses here in the state of Massachusetts, a lot of the hospitals, as well as sports stadiums, hockey, basketball, football, a lot of the food restaurants, businesses have now been relaxed, have been under strict COVID regulations. But again, they're now able to have a little bit under stage 3. They're now able to relax a little bit more to go back to 80 to 85% occupancy under their restaurants. There still is guidelines to help regulate with businesses what they're going through, as well as a lot of other businesses, under their strict COVID guidelines as to how many people they can have in their restaurants. But again, there's mask mandates as well as occupancy guidelines that a lot of these basketball, hockey, baseball stadiums are now having to deal with, still under the different stages of the COVID CDC, Department of Public Health, and our current administration in office, the Biden administration has currently put it into office for the general public, as well as local and private businesses that are also infected by the COVID economic pandemic. Now, Your physical health and your mental health is also very important. Again, it's important to take into mind in the month of May going into June. A lot of people right now, the mandates that the current administration in office, Joe Biden, he's dealing with his infrastructure plans as well as taking care of the economy in the United States under the COVID pandemic. Lately, right now, though, the main issue, as you can tell on television stations as well as what's going on in the media, people are now talking about mental health. Mental health is a very important issue that, of course, you know, Prince Harry and Oprah Winfrey are talking about with what's going on currently in the news. And Oprah Winfrey has now a telecast on Apple TV talking about how important your mental health is. And yes, it is important to take care of your mental health as well as mindfulness. Mindfulness is another term in the mental health community talking about realizing your true inner self, paying attention to what's currently happening here in the moment and what's going on in the current moment at that time. So mindfulness as well as your own personal mental health is a really another important topic, important term in the mental health community that is very important to talk about going through this COVID-19 pandemic. So mental health, mental health is another issue that people are not really thinking about. A lot of people are not paying more important attention to because it's affecting the medical community just as important as it's affecting the general public. A lot of professionals as well as people really don't acknowledge how much of an impact, how much of a stress you have to deal with supporting yourself, supporting your family, as well as those who are close to you, and how much people have been impacted by this pandemic and overall the total health, the total immune impact of this pandemic. So a lot of people have been impacted by the pandemic. It's affecting not only their wallets, not only the economy, but also their personal feelings, their emotions, their well-being about them. And that is something that needs to be paying close attention to mental health. So right now, coming up until the end of May, the beginning of June, mental health is going to be a very important issue that's going to be talked about now that we're coming into the end of this pandemic here in the month of May going into June, and now we're in the final stages of the pandemic. So mental health is a very important issue that I also will be having started another series about how important that I was able to actually have to be involved in some personal treatment for that myself, and being impacted by personal treatment mental health issues as well as depression and anxiety, going through that, even being a person in the medical field. That is something that I also like to continually to be involved in treatment for myself as well as treatment for those around me. And I also continue to support the initiatives of the people involved in the mental health community. How important it is to death and grieving for a lot of people. Over almost close to 500,000, almost 1 million people have died here in the almost 500,000. Is it 200,000? 200 to 500,000 people have died during the last year or 2 years during the pandemic, and close to almost 1 million, 1.5 million people have since deceased since the start of this pandemic around the world. So that is another issue that we have yet to talk about during this pandemic. Of course, I've been doing reports on this here. Following me on my YouTube channel, and I've been involved in the community here in the city of Boston, just going to events, and then there's something else that I would love to share with you guys about how important mental health is, and the aspect of it is being involved here during the pandemic. It is something that we really need to talk about, and we really further need to discuss further on that. So again, coming into the month of May, the end of June, mental health is another very important topic that we have to talk about. Now, I'm about into 10 minutes into this YouTube video. I did another IG live feed today. as well as on Facebook. I did a Facebook Live because talking about my nonprofit battle for first aid responder services. I now started being involved in community events. I'm very happy about that. Coming up to the month of May, June, being involved in a lot of community events. Again, I got my mask. So continually, I just also want to encourage those out here, to all my subscribers as well as to my followers on Facebook Business, as well as on YouTube, to continue to follow the mandates of the CDC and also the Department of Health and your local state and business offices and those involved as well. So whatever you and your personal medical physician, your personal medical practitioner have to say in the medical community, follow their guidelines as well as those around you, those who you're surrounded with. Continue to be involved in your own personal medical care, as well as what is being said in the TV news and the local news, and whatever's being said in your local government, your whatever your mayor, whatever your elected officials are saying. Pay attention to what they're saying, as well as pay attention to what the relationship is between you and your medical practitioner. Also pay attention very much to that too as well. So okay, now we're getting into it. Now we're here into the month of May and June. I want to go ahead and focus on a couple of events, as well as a couple of events that I have going on. I will be starting trying to save up some funds to be starting some CPR classes. How you doing? To be starting some CPR classes pretty soon here, doing some CPR first aid here in the month of June. Okay. So I will be going ahead and starting to do some important events coming up here for the month of June and July. On June the 5th, to my Boston family here on YouTube, as well as I'll be sharing this to my YouTube and to my Facebook as well. On June the 5th, I will be at a community event for it's called the Black Umbrella Project, keeping your community cultured. I will be involved in that event. How you doing? Good to see you. Good to see you. Can I ask you a couple questions? Is that okay? I can put my face myself. You can come in here. It's going to my YouTube. You're fine. How are you coming here? You come in here.
What are you doing?
Good. Okay, my name's Sophia. I'm a medical assistant. I've been doing research on COVID. How are you doing?
I'm doing well.
Good. You don't have to tell your name. I just want to ask you a couple questions. I have a gentleman here. So how has the COVID pandemic impacted you and your family and loved ones? And I just was a good question. So you can just how has the COVID pandemic
it was brutal. My very best friend died about 2.5 weeks into it, and then my other very best friend, who lived in New York City, he died in February from long COVID, from a stroke.
I'm sorry.
At the same time, my mom got cancer, so I couldn't visit my parents. It was terrible. Also, I'm a street performer, so my entire living was gone. It affected me, it was just like the most insane, surreal thing. But I survived it. I mean, I did what I was supposed to do. I watched a lot of TV, barreled up, did a lot of writing, reading, and just followed the rules.
So I do apologize for your loss.
Thank you.
But as you know, mental health is a very important topic that a lot of people are talking about, with death and grieving, as well as depression and anxiety issues. I'm going to ask you just a couple questions. Sure. How has, with the grieving process of losing your best friend and your loved one, your loved friend, and your person close to you, going through this pandemic, how have you dealt with that mental health issue?
I really almost put it on ice till the pandemic started to slow down. I mean, the last death was in the beginning of March, so the first one I really didn't deal with well. I mean, I didn't drink or do drugs or things like that. I just binged, I watched TV. I spent a lot of time talking to friends from around the country, which was a very positive thing. Reconnecting with a lot of friends I wouldn't normally have talked to because of COVID, we reconnected, we Zoomed and everything. I dealt with it that way. I also did find I reconnected with my psychiatrist and also a counselor at the methadone clinic. I would really rely on him a lot. Like I had good support system to lean on. I'm very reticent to lean on people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, but I did like even though I live like isolated in my own little tiny apartment, I do have a good support system. I use them, and like also, like I'm a relatively cheerful guy. Life goes on. You take these hits, things happen. You know, we got to be more like half the country just fell into this political like argument and nightmare, and I avoided that, and I think that helped a lot.
Well, good. Well, I'm glad that you actually took that as a person in the medical field, as well as a person who's surviving mental health issues. I'm glad that you're able to share, to know that it's going to be okay, that it does take time to overcome.
Absolutely. It's a joint effort, and I'm just very proud of everyone in this state who's gone through vaccination so far. You know.
Okay, well, thank you.
Sure.
My name's LaQueen Battle. You can follow me on Facebook and Instagram.
LaQueen?
And YouTube.
How do I spell that?
LaQueen Battle, Battle.
Oh, just
Battle.
right. Okay,
my,
sure.
My nonprofit is called Battle First Aid Responder Services. And
Right
you're here on my YouTube, so thank you.
Hi everyone. My pleasure.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yep.
All right, so I just had a wonderful interview talking with a gentleman who says that he lost two loved ones to the COVID-19 pandemic. So I just had an interview talking with a gentleman who said he just lost two of his close, dear loved ones to the pandemic. It has really impacted him and his family and his loved one and him personal self. But at the same time, he still is getting help for that. He still is getting assistance for that. And that is something that needs to be addressed for more people that have actually lost loved ones and dear ones. And coming up into almost to the middle of this year, coming into almost 2 and 3 years into this pandemic, as well as to with dealing with a lot of people who still are having issues breaking with this pandemic, breaking from the government restrictions and from a bad economy up until now, where jobs are now slowly, the economy is slowly coming back into motion, as well as with regulations, government regulations slowly easing down more on the people. That is something that needs to be addressed, and mental health is still a very important issue that needs to be addressed. So I'm glad about 18 minutes into this interview, I'm glad I was actually able to get an interview get a conversation between somebody who's actually dealt with that. So thank you to the gentleman that just came before here. Thank you, I really do appreciate it. Okay, so thank you for that. Now, right now we are into end of May, beginning of June. Okay, we're in stage 3 here of the COVID regulations up until the state of Massachusetts. What the state of Massachusetts has going on right now. Again, I have a nonprofit. It's called Battle First Aid Responder Services. I'm glad to be involved here in the community and being able to offer assistance. Like I said before, I'm a certified medical assistant, adult pediatric first aid, community health advocate, always going out there and pretty much doing what I can. Love being involved and love helping other people involved at the same time. It is still going to take a lot of government regulations to get through the pandemic, as well as to get through what the government is going through right now. There still is a lot to do, a lot issues to be made forth on that term. Now, dealing with the economy, the bad economy, as well as rental, housing moratoriums, housing issues, rents, people being housing eviction moratoriums, food shortages, food crisis, where there's an issue with gas shortages, food shortages with chicken, and with main products, main staples in the economy are being on shortages, as well as dealing with other issues such as job loss, a bad economy. And now that we have our current administration in office, Joe Biden's administration, who's really trying to focus on the entire infrastructure of the economy, that is something that we really need to focus on and what we really need to get done. Now, as you know, it is almost the middle of the first year, the midterm of the first year of Joe Biden into office. He still has a lot more to do to address in his first almost 120 days in office. He still has a lot more to do as the current president and the chief in command here in the United States. He still has a lot to do with addressing the pandemic issues as well as dealing with a really bad economy. The stimulus package has done a lot for, I've been a product of the stimulus package as well as the stimulus package has done a lot for the economy. It's done great things to help boost the economy, but the economy is still not back where it needs to be. And that is something that the pandemic is also another issue in the pandemic that needs to be addressed with the economy. Okay, now what my nonprofit does, what Battle First Aid Responder Services does, is I try to get out here in the community and I try to pretty much help out and provide first aid services in the community. I usually am out in the streets at night, always helping out the community, asking questions. And as of 2021, I've been out doing a lot of events where I've been helping on first aid, as well as helping with hand sanitizer, being a need to the community, being involved, being focused on having a specific focus in the community. That's what 2021 has taught me. Now 2020 has taught me, just this past last year, has taught me to keep moving. I've been traveling to over 20 different cities last year and hope to still keep up that same momentum that I got started with the nonprofit in 2020, and now to keep up with that same momentum, that same flow with the same events that are happening to me currently here in 2021. Still trying to focus on doing COVID-19, the pandemic research, as well as getting to community, asking questions for those involved, helping out people, doing community health, improving my education, going to graduate school, being a more community advocate, and pretty much doing whatever I can to help out those involved. So that is why I created Battle First Aid Responder Services. It used to be called First Aid Responder Services, but it's Battle First Aid Responder Services, in order to be a need to the community and get out there and try to provide as much community health, become a community health advocate to those in need, and become the need and response to what is currently going on right now through the government crisis throughout the world, what the international crisis is, what's going on all throughout the world versus what's going on here domestically here in the United States. Now, there are crises all around the world. There are issues going on all around the world with the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. There's things like that, as well as what's the issues going on with Russia, as well as issues going on with South and Central America with their government and their political fights and their political issues. That's what's going on currently around the world. There are issues internationally as a country that we can help with and assist with, and at the same time though, even though there are international conflicts, the city of Boston, the state of New York can also be able to help a need internationally with those involved, and to pretty much go out there and say, hey, we can be a need, we can help assist other people, hey, we can do pretty much what we can politically as a country, as a citizen community. We can pretty much go out there and help be a need for those involved and do what we can as a society. Then now, what I'm trying to say is that there are a lot of issues internationally involved that we can do as a society here as Americans, but at the same time though, even though there are conflicts abroad, there's conflicts here in the United States, dealing with Black Lives Matter, dealing with police brutality, dealing with a bad economy, dealing with a lot of systems here domestically in the United States, as well as the pandemic. The COVID-19 pandemic is the primary issue that needs to be focused on, and that is impacting people. All around the world. The COVID-19 pandemic, it is impacting people all around the world, and that is something that needs to be addressed primarily as a focus, as well as all the domestic and the international conflicts that we face as a society. And that is something that really needs to be addressed because of how the COVID-19 pandemic is affecting Black Lives Matter. It's affecting food shortages. It's affecting businesses, the bad economy, as well as it's affecting police relations, community relations, gun violence. Those are topics that should be addressed all over, and that is something that eventually I will try to. I've been involved here specifically as a citizen. I've been extremely involved here in the city of Boston. I've been involved with community activism, and that's something that I also love to pursue. I would like to pursue more in the future, is being involved with community activism. So that is something that the COVID-19 pandemic has impacted as we push forward on, which I'll try to title this COVID-19 pandemic as we push forward. That is something that needs to be addressed as we push forward in this economy, forward in a forward momentum, and that is something that we really need to figure out what we're going to do about it, and how we're going to address the needs of our society here in America and abroad, and how it's impacted people as well. Now, like I said, the COVID-19 pandemic is not yet over. It still needs to be addressed, and as a community activist and community health advocate, I would like to be involved more and get out there, and as a citizen myself, do as much more as I can to pretty much go out there and be a need to people, be civically involved in the community, and pretty much I'm on the ground and doing as much as I can on the ground, and still talking to you here on YouTube, as well as on Instagram and on Facebook and all my social media feeds. And I'm just pretty much trying to get myself together personally, professionally, and try to be a need to those involved. Now we are mid year into this pandemic. Right now it's going on to June the 1st, and starting next week, it is the end of May. We have Father's Day coming up. We have Memorial Day coming up. We have 4th of July coming up. There still is a lot more issues. The crowds are going to get bigger. Herd immunity is coming. The crowds are getting bigger. The businesses are opening back up again. Crowd immunity is coming. Herd immunity is coming to a standstill. The crowds are getting bigger. Memorial Day, Miami, spring break, a lot of these college graduations. There still is, through the crowds are getting bigger, there still is government sanctions. Government is pretty much putting standstills on how big a large an event can be. Now, like I said, that's just whatever is according to your state and region guidelines. Now, you can to ask your government what are their current guidelines on the COVID-19 sanctions, as well as how big or large event you can have. Check with your local regions, and check with your local government officials on how big or how large or small an event you can have, how many people are involved. So we have sports events, we have 4th of July, we have picnics, we have parks that are now opening back up again. We have college graduations. We have holidays coming up. We have parades coming up. We have summer festivals coming up. We have music festivals coming up. We have all these large events coming up where over 5, 10,000, 20,000, 50 people, 1,000 people are coming up to the event. Now, the government sanctions are slowly loosening back up again, now allowing sports events to open back up again. I know artists are now able to go back out and perform out, going to having music festivals, having music events, having concerts. You're not able to go to concerts. I know there's a couple of artists out there in Atlanta and in Texas and in Florida that are able to go out there and perform again, which is great. So you're now able to go out and have a live festival, going out there able to perform. That's great. That's honest. You're able to enjoy a concert fully, but still wear that mask. Now, the CDC guidelines still say continue to wear that mask. Whether you're in a private or public, whether you're in a public gathering with more people present, because you don't know if these people have been fully vaccinated or not. So a lot of artists are now happy about the CDC guidelines saying now we're able to relax a little bit on these large gatherings, saying now we're able to relax a little bit, we're able to have a concert, we're able to have large gatherings events, we're able to have college graduations, we're able to have music festivals, we're able to have large events, we're able to have local community festivals, community events, community parades at a standstill, still according to government and local region guidelines. We are now able to have these events, these community festivals, these parades at a CDC guideline, at the sanctions of the government still, of what your state and local regions are allowing you to be. Okay, now I know whatever happens here in the state of Massachusetts, usually I'm into 30 minutes to this video. So bear with me. I'm going to try to make this as quick and short as possible, because you know my videos are very long. So bear with me. I'm going to say this one time, okay? So bear with me. Thank you for listening. I appreciate it. So you're going to have to check to see whatever is in your local and your local and your state region guidelines. Now check with what your local and your state region guidelines say. I'm going to my Instagram live video too, as well as to my Facebook live. Because this is beautiful scenery here in Boston City Hall. This is so beautiful, Boston City Hall. So okay, so again, check with what is going on with what your local city regions, as well as your state and your local government and your authorities are saying about events, okay? Because that's impacting weddings, that's impacting concerts, that's impacting festivals. Check with your local government regulations have to say about large and private events, okay? Because the pandemic is still not over, okay? According to Andrew Cuomo and Charlie Baker here in the state of Massachusetts and the state of New York, which are the largest, two largest, one of the largest regions in the United States outside of Los Angeles, Miami, Dallas, Chicago, and Seattle. Seattle got another one. So check with what is going on in your local government as well, okay? If your government says you can have an event of 50 people, check with what is going on in the 50 people. If your local authorities say you can have an event of more than 100 people or more than 200 people, check. But still, the sanctions of the government are still lessening as the pandemic wears on, and as we are now able to open back up into what the CDC guidelines are saying, as well as what President Joe Biden is saying, according to CDC guidelines, and what is currently being published again for the Department of Public Health, as well as the authorities behind these initiatives that is the current administration is currently saying and asking in office. So again, check with your local administrators and your local authorities on how big or large an event you can have. Continue to check with those as well, okay? So I'm 30 minutes into this video. I'm gonna try to end it up real quick and give you some updates about Battle First Aid Responder Services, as well as continue to keep you guys informed, okay? So thank you so much for listening. I'm here from beautiful Boston City Hall. It's a beautiful day here, Sunday, May the 23rd, 2021. It's the midway of this year, 2021. We still have a lot to do. We still have a lot to focus on. I'm here on this beautiful day in the city of Boston. A couple of updates for Battle First Aid Responder Services. A couple updates in 2 weeks. On Saturday, June the 5th, I will be having a table. I will be presenting, talking more about what I'm talking to you guys right now: community health activism and COVID-19 reform. I will be talking at the table at the Black Umbrella Project, as well as in Jamaica Plains at Kennedy Elementary School on Saturday, June the 5th, as well as on Sunday, July the 5th, July the 6th, I will be speaking at Boston Commons at a protest promoting police reform and Black Lives Matter events. So that will be July the 5th. June the 5th is Kennedy Elementary School for the Black Umbrella Project, keeping community cultured. And July the 5th, 6th, that weekend, I will be speaking at a Black Lives Matter event rally, an activist rally, socialist rally here in the city of Boston, speaking more. So join me on those two events, and also I will be trying to get out there, set up some more tables, doing some more vending activities, be involved more here in the city of Boston, as well as the city of New York City, where my services are needed, and get out there and try to be involved and study learn and do as much as I can to become involved in this process. Now, I thank you guys for listening to me. I appreciate it. Again, this is LaQueen Battle of Battle First Aid Responder Services. I named the company after my father, who had a business called Pounds Electronics growing up, and I wanted to follow in his footsteps. Now, I'm going to give this discretion before I leave YouTube today. I want to give this quick discretionary advisory. Now, I am a certified medical assistant. I am certified through American Heart Association and Adult and Pediatric First Aid CPR AED, as well as Narcan opioid assistance. I have various certifications through the American Red Cross, their online learning system, as well as through the American Heart Association, the state of New York, and here in Massachusetts, as well as have 3 degrees. And I'm currently pursuing my graduate degrees in public health policy. So that's what I'm continually doing now. I'm going to give you guys a discretionary advisory little discretion. Now, even though I am a medical assistant, I'm in the medical field, I want to make sure that I am on the same level as what's being told here and through your Department of Health. So always continue to check with your local regions, your local government authorities on what I'm saying versus on what's going on on TV, what's going on in your local government. Continue to check. I have my own personal opinion. What I say is of my own personal opinion, as well as what's being researched through the CDC guidelines and the Department of Public Health guidelines, as what's being currently researched through it's Dr. Tony Fauci's his guidelines, as well as with our President Joe Biden guidelines here in the state of Massachusetts and the state of New York. Now, what I say is of my own personal opinion, okay? Now, if you have any opinions, if you have any statements you'd like to make towards me, please email me. Please let me know. I need as much comment and feedback as I can when I post these videos. I do need your feedback. I need as much feedback as I can to continue to be involved and do what I love to do, which is be here and do community health and do community activism here in the city of Boston, the city of New York, here in America, internationally, as well as domestically here and abroad. That's what I love to do this. I love to be involved. Now, if you have any feedback, leave me a comment. If you watch this video for 30 minutes, all the way through, please send me a comment, like, feed. Subscribe to my channel about our First Aid Responder Services. Let me know how you feel about it. Let me know what you think about it as I continue to be involved, in this process. Let me know what you think about it, and just send me a like, feed, or subscribe to my channel, and tell more people about it. I love to get involved. Now, everything I do is of my own personal opinion, as well as what's being told on TV, what's being researched in the newspaper, what's being researched according to government guidelines. I always research. I like to be involved in the political process. At the same time, I want to be on the same page, on the same standstill as what's being told through the media, I need peer reviews. I need personal as well as professional peer reviews. That's what I need. Everything is based on my own opinion, but I still need peer review and peer support. If you know anybody in the medical field that would like to send me support or would like to give me advice, please send them that way. Okay, I need peer support as well as to you as research me. So you can find me on Amazon and Barnes & Noble's my published work, LaQueen Battle, and my COVID research books, as well as my work at Harvard University, as well as you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and here on YouTube. I really do appreciate your help and assistance. Thank you so much for listening. Watch my video today here, 30 minutes to the feed. It's been a long day. Thank you to the gentleman I was able to interview today, as well as this beautiful City Hall here, beautiful backdrop here in Boston City Hall. You know I love my beautiful backdrops here. I'll be sharing this video here on my Facebook feed. It's a beautiful day here in the city of Boston, trying to get involved, pretty much doing what I can do here in the city of Boston. And I have Channel 7 News here to my right, pretty much get involved here. This beautiful backdrop here on Sunday, May the 23rd, here in the city of Boston. Beautiful day. And it's not rainy. It's not raining at all, which I'm thankful for that. So again, this is LaQueen Battle, certified medical assistant at Adult Pediatric First Aid, coming live from downtown Boston City Hall. Loving to be involved in this political process. Again, we are almost halfway through this pandemic. We have a lot to do. We have a lot to be involved in, as well as to keep the motion moving. The pandemic is not yet over. This pandemic is not yet over. So you have to keep pushing yourself through. If you don't have a job, if you're going through housing crisis, if you're going through eviction process, you have to keep pushing it. Somehow keep pushing it. Work out, eat healthy, have a good relationship between you, your doctor, and your personal physician. Keep pushing yourself to make it through. Keep pushing yourself to make it through. All right? Okay, so you can reach me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube, as well as all my social media feeds. And you can see me here in the city of Boston, here in our community. If you see me, say hi. Don't be a stranger, all right? Don't be a stranger. Thank you for watching my video here live in 39 minutes into this broadcast. This is the Queen Battle. Certified medical assistant, adult pediatric first aid, community health advocate, COVID-19 researcher, and as well as COVID-19 advocate too. Coming live here from this beautiful backdrop here in Boston City Hall on this beautiful day. Here's Sunday, May the 23rd. Love you guys. This is the end of my video. I will hope you have a great day. And again, this is the Queen Battle. Thank you so much for watching my videos. I will go ahead and send you guys more updates as well. So take care. Bye and much love.